Hey y'all, I'm back. I know you knew I was coming back, right? Yeah, I'm here. So, I am Niambi Shali, and I speak of all things spiritual. Well, this is a question from one of my subbies, and I hope I can get it done in 20 minutes. But the name of this video is How I Open My Chakras. And I want to give a quick shout out to my subby, Kamisha. Thank you for your comments, honey. It inspires me. It motivates me to get right back up here. I am new. I would like to give a honorable mention to one of my shorts. It got 7,000 views. I was like, come here. Did I say 7,000 views? So I did record. And for those who saw that video, I recorded and I took it down because I understood some things after watching that video. So it's some things that I have to work on and my triggers. But talking about all things spiritual and understanding that your spirit is the way that you feel, and how you should have a nice balance. So this doesn't mean that you have to be all, sunshine. It's about being balanced for light and dark. That's the best way that I can describe it, because there was a time where I was toxic, dark, low vibrational, and then I went all in on Miss Goody Two Shoes. Okay, it doesn't work like that. We are a great balance of divine, feminine, and masculine energy. And unless we tap into both at one time, meaning there are times that you're going to have to bring out that masculine, not man, the masculine side. Aggressive. It just is what it is. So back to how I opened my chakras was I started to study spirituality. I was going through my dark night of the soul, and spirituality was the only thing that was waking me up. Dark night of the soul only meaning that it was a time in my life where I could not shake this feeling, and I know that I'm even in my toxic days, I had fun doing it. I had fun being that person, and I didn't understand what was going on. Dark night of the soul. Like, this is a funk that I have never experienced before, and it will not be my life. So I took some notes, and what I actually did was I put my AirPods in and put them on autoplay. So I started to get all of these downloads, meaning messages, videos, podcasts, everything that was taking me further down the spiritual rabbit hole. Meaning it wasn't just one thing that I learned. I did honestly open my chakras through meditation, but I wanted to know why your chakras, being your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, and your root. During meditation, I started feeling all of my upper chakras, but they came sporadically. It came throughout time. I listened to several people. So I listened to people, I listened to, as you know, like in America, what happens is they take everything, including religion, and they commercialize it or make it something that's insignificant, or they demonize it, or they make anything that can give you power is always, which is something that I learned throughout my journey, is that it's always something of fear mongering, a manipulative, a don't do that, don't look at that, that is not. And so I started looking at astrology, and I went back to once I started hearing astrology, not this commercialized, insignificant astrology that you see in the newspaper, that you get once a day. No, actually studying of the stars, universe, planetary alignment. And once I started to listen to it, and it was guiding me out of this funk, I was like, because it was able to tell me the energies that were present on earth. And so I just went further and further with it, not trying to learn astrology myself, no, but following a person that knew what they were talking about. This woman had said years ago, she told about the pandemic. She told about the upheaval that was going to happen. She didn't say there's going to be a pandemic in 2020, 2021, but she said it's something going on. I don't know what it is, but it's something. She told about the breaking down of the systems, as in, and this is by reading astrology, reading the planetary alignment, being able to understand that there is something going on in the planets, which is a mirror of the earth. So when I go back and I hear things like as beloved, but as above, so below, oh, okay, epiphany for me. What's going on in the planets with the planetary alignment, it happens here. What's happening in the universe is happening here. Her name was Molly McCord. You would have to, I'm not going to link anything because I want you to research these things for yourself. Research that person for yourself. I'm not going to link websites or places where you can go and purchase anything, because I learned everything that I know right now about manifestation and understanding that the universe is co-creating with you, and that all of your power is within you, and understanding that Molly wasn't the only person. I listened to a yogi, which is practices yoga. What did I say? What does America do? America takes everything, commercializes it, and makes it insignificant. Well, the yoga explained, okay, you need to go out in nature. You need to connect with nature. You need to understand that we are all connected. We are connected to the earth. We are connected to the cosmos, and that you will be able to feel those things in your body. That's what a chakra is. Crown chakra is the place where your soft spot was as a baby. Yes. So when you start to feel your crown chakra, for me, it was a tingling. When I first felt it opening up was maybe my 20th time meditating. I got up from meditation and there was a thumping in the top of my head. And I was like, what the, you know how I talk? I'm like, what is that? Like, really, it was powerful because I couldn't believe it. And because I didn't know exactly what it was, I meditated later on that day, and that's when I realized it is open. It is open. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this video 20 minutes. But when I started to visualize after meditating and getting meditation down to a science, understanding that sitting down for the first 5 minutes, you are going to realize, like, my brain is racing. So I had to every time my brain would race, I would just get up. And because I could never study it. I could never study it. I was like, I can't do this. And so I would get up. And Sahdguru, which is the person that I listen to, the yogi, explained that there has to be a process now. Okay, if you cannot, then you need to go back. And like I say, this has been my main teaching, clear the mind. Meaning get all of that negative stuff out, get all of that lower vibrational stuff out. Things like hating somebody, jealousy, envy, rage, wrath, all of these things that we have in there and we have not cleaned them. That's how you block chakras. That's how you block your ability to see. And this is not seeing with the eye, because once you realize, no matter what you see with your eyes, it's not even real. It can be changed by your thinking. It can be changed, and I don't want to seem trippy in this. It is changed. It's waiting on you, which is something that I realized through listening to Abraham Hicks. And all of these people that were talking, that I listened to for months and months and months, I could always equate it back to biblical. Once our guru says connect with nature, it says Jesus went into the wilderness to speak to the Father every day. Yes, by himself. That's what we have to do. We have to go into the quiet. When I realized that it said wilderness, so spiritual lesson, meaning nature and wilderness. When you realize how wild your mind is, how untamed it is, and you finally decide to discipline it. We're listening to Joe Dispensa. So I'm dropping gems. When listening to Joe Dispensa, he explains how by changing your mind, it will connect with your heart. And when your heart and your mind meet, it's like a wave. What you're sending out a signal to the universe that whatever you were thinking in that wave comes directly back into you. So when I say listening to these people and understanding that they were speaking to me and they were speaking of biblical things, because Joe Dispensa speaks of the heart and the mind communicating and sending out signals into the universe. That's what the Lost Book of Thomas. If you all remember, I told you that the Bible has the tools in there, but it has a lot of fluff because it was written by people who didn't want you to know the truth anyway. And so by going and like I said, Sahdguru, which was a yogi, chakra being a Hindu belief system, Deepak being an alternative medicine advocate, Abraham Hicks being a channeler, Joe Dispensa, we already talked about heart and mind, which Abraham Hicks talks about as well. Lee Harris, which talks about energies. As I was going through my spiritual awakening, I ran into the book, found it in my house. I'll do that every time. This is Deepak, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Found it in my house. I'm like, that's how the universe does. It'll bring you the answer to what it is that you're looking for. To the point now, when I can speak to my subconscious mind. Kind of like if you are having a conversation and someone goes, man, what's that dude's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. And you might not get it right then and there. But what the subconscious mind does is goes in and searches for the answer. And then if you don't get it right then, you'll remember it at midnight 2 nights from now. So that's what you need to understand, is that your subconscious mind is always listening to you. And so if it's always listening and you have a wild mind and you have a wilderness mind and you haven't tamed your mind and you haven't gotten disciplined over your mind, you'll never or barely be able to manifest, because that's what manifestation is. Once I started to realize that these people were talking about manifesting by clearing the mind and the heart, by listening to Neville Goodard, by listening to Bob Proctor. These are all people that I was listening to, understanding that the universe will bring you whatever you want through imagination, meditation, visualization. And let's not forget, I have everything that I want. I also found this book in my house as I was going through this spiritual awakening. Where these books came from, I'm telling you, I'm not a book buyer. And these are really, really old books. Like, I buy books recently because I hand bind books, and it's better to have like a hard cover to do it with. But see, this is written to a Catherine Underwood. It's called The Bible Speaks to You, and I'm trying to find the copyright date. I believe it was copywritten in 1952. Where this book came from, I don't know. I did not check it out of a library or anything. It just popped up in my home. And I do have books. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know. But I started to get into, since they were there, I didn't have to buy them. I started to get into them. One of the things that I did with this, and you can just, with Deepak, you can just, like, he has so many free things or teachings on YouTube. But the way that I open my chakras, was through meditation, because after learning spirituality, I started to meditate. Once I realized that I was actually manifesting, I was actually receiving, things were coming into me at a high rate of speed. I'm like, okay, let me go back and get a little sermon, because maybe I could, I could really manifest. And when going back to sermons, after feeling so free, after getting out all of those things that I have been told, and going on a new path and understanding, my crown chakra open. Once your crown chakra open, not saying that your other chakras are not blocked, but once your crown chakra opens, it lets you know that you are now thinking higher. And thinking higher only means you are visualizing. You are using your brain to call those things into your life. Anything you want, you can have with the power of your mind. You want to be in Jamaica? Go to Jamaica in your mind. That's the only way that I can explain it. That's the only way that I can describe it without my antics, is that learning to discipline your mind changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. And so I opened my own chakras by thinking higher, by going through my ascension process. There's still work to be done. There's still work to be done. And once you understand that it is a daily regimen, I have a daily spiritual regimen. And when the very first time I felt my third eye open, which is in the middle, I was like, I rushed to research, how do we continue this? Because I need this to continue to happen. Everything has been so commercialized and made insignificant and told to you, don't do that, don't look at this, don't look at that, look at everything. And that's the reason why I'm here. Research everything, question everything, because your purpose is waiting on you. Now, I did do it in less than 20 minutes. And I was hoping that I wouldn't get any commercials on my speaker, but I did. And it don't matter, because guess what? I feel so peaceful today, and I'm so glad that I was able to get this message out. And I love you.